Definitely following those tornadic supercells that's moving across northern Alabama right now. Dr. Forbes, tell us more about those.
Tornado emergency, Carl, for both Huntsville and Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, it looks very serious right now in Tuscaloosa. We've got a big old ball that's coming right to downtown, possibly the University of Alabama as well. Tornado emergency also for Huntsville, for Madison County. We're getting a report now from Madison County of people trapped, a Piggly Wiggly grocery store damaged there. So some very serious damage in that area.
Yeah, and here is Tuscaloosa. So we have indicated here a very strong tornado vortex signature coming right toward the Tuscaloosa area.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's just updated there. Oh boy,
right
we have a debris ball. There's one of these debris balls that we've been talking about, and extremely strong damage is being done in Tuscaloosa at this time by a very strong tornado with debris being indicated on radar. Extremely dangerous situation. Let me zoom in, see if we can get any additional details on the exact location. It is pretty much right over, maybe about 1 mile south of the center of downtown Tuscaloosa, heading off toward the east-northeast at about 50 miles per hour. Extremely dangerous, life-threatening situation there. The size of the vortex signature here is very strong. I have winds here that are, oh wow. This just on the raw radar, the greens there are about 105 miles per hour. Then I have some winds here that are about 70 miles per hour. So just a huge circulation that's being indicated by this. And a distance across from about here to there is a distance of about 1.5 miles. So we have a potentially very wide tornado and or basically a whole rotating wall cloud on the ground.
Greg, what do we have in Tuscaloosa?
Just going back and waiting for the next update on the radar at Tuscaloosa. In the meantime, I thought I would take a slice through this storm. I'll do it live while you watch. Well, I think you can see the tornado, can't you? There is the tornado coming right up across there. Debris going up 10,000 feet into the air from this tornado. If I can take here and put the storm relative velocities on it, we'll see that probably will pop up here. We can see the greens on one side, the reds on the other side.
We're just getting word that it's being picked up near the University of Alabama right now. So apparently it's on the grounds there, just beginning to come into the University of Alabama.
Tornado is in progress with a debris ball. Confirmed tornado, sighted tornado. We can also confirm it on the Doppler radar coming across Tuscaloosa. The University of Alabama.
University of Alabama is now seeing that on there. There's a camera that is on campus, and they are now seeing that tornado in their field of view. So it's now coming at least towards the University of Alabama, if not into the University of Alabama. So now is the time, folks, to take shelter.
Yeah, I'm monitoring Twitter, and just now coming across from Twitter user Paige Wills, wanted to show you this image from the Tuscaloosa area. It looks like there's apartments or dorms right there, and directly behind it is this huge wedge tornado. So here's confirmation on a Twitter picture of what you guys are talking about. Dangerous situation. Back to you guys.
Oh, Mark, I tell you that just it's really upsetting to see this, because we know seeing that debris ball, seeing what we've seen on radar, looking at the visual evidence right there, we know that something terrible has happened in the Tuscaloosa area.
Yeah, big wedge tornado we saw, and here tornado emergency for it's near the Deer Lick Creek campgrounds. Tornado emergency for Brookwood and Abernant areas now. And I've been mentioning Brookwood, so these are areas just off to the northeast or east-northeast of the Tuscaloosa area. And this is probably going to head pretty close to Birmingham, about 45 minutes from now, maybe the Hoover area. As it's going right now, these storms rotate this quickly. They tend to go a little bit to the right, so maybe the Hoover area, but we'll continue to monitor the entire Birmingham metro area to see if the storm makes a left turn or a little bit of a right turn, depending on how fast or if it would slow down in its rotation.
Greg, we were going to talk to the mayor of Tuscaloosa. I'm not sure if he's there right now, but he apparently had the tornado come right overhead. Is he on the phone right now?
Yes. Hello?
Okay. Tell us what's going on there.
So right now we're trying to assess the damage. It knocked out a couple of key centers, including our Emergency Management Association. It came right over our police department and City Hall. We're operating on generator now. We're in damage assessment mode, trying to get the data to begin responding.
It looked like this storm came very close to the University of Alabama. Was that the case as far as you know?
It came south of City Hall, where I am now, about 2 blocks south. So if it went on that path, it would have touched the university campus. We've been able, just in the last 5 to 10 minutes, to restore communications. In fact, your network was the first call into our system when it came back up. So right now we're just in damage assessment mode, and we're still reeling from April 15th. So we've got a lot of work to do to make sure our citizens are safe.
Okay, Mayor Walter Maddox, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, have got a big job ahead of them right now, and some very scary moments there. Let's get out to Jeff Morrow right now. He's been covering the storms in the field. Jeff, what do you have for us?
All right, the tornado sirens, I don't know if you can hear them in the background here. I'm going to stop talking for a second. That's the tornado sirens out here in Birmingham. They're all across the city. We can hear them. And the rain, the heavier rain is now starting to come in. I've had to change my shot. We have the camera in a secure location, and if we can pan up just a little bit, you can see some of the gray clouds coming in. It's about to rain really, really hard here, I think, very, very shortly. Heavy rain is already overspreading the city. In fact, the wind's really picking up here now. I'm kind of looking around. We've had some lightning flashes. Tornado sirens coming back down, but again, that cell is headed right toward us. We may have to put the dish down on our satellite truck here, so we'll try to keep you updated here from Birmingham, but the weather really has gone downhill here in just the last 15 minutes.
By the way, all of these greens, those are flash flood warnings. So with so many storms rolling along the same area, we're getting saturated ground and flash flooding and another crisis. Go to graphics 15. A new video coming in, and then we'll do an update on the location of the Tuscaloosa tornado. There we have, you see a tornado that is just rolling across. Where was this, from Tuscaloosa?
This is northern Alabama. Tuscaloosa is what we're looking at. Look at that. That is an incredibly large and powerful tornado, Greg.
And this is not time-lapse. This is real-time video, as I understand. So you can see the rotation, the speed of the counterclockwise rotation there. And so, as we had been saying, I had been seeing some winds, perhaps 155 miles per hour in the Doppler radar, if not faster, because that was aloft, and that's certainly suggestive there. A cone-type tornado, a wedge tornado, very large tornado rolling across. With the movement there from right to left, this would have been taken a little bit from a position north of the tornado as the tornado moved off northeastbound. So dangerous, dangerous situation.
And we've also got tornado warnings now in a number of other places. Tornadic cells still continue to roll across much of northern Alabama. It's been an awful day today. There again, we're looking at another piece of debris falling out of the sky, and just something that we do not see a whole lot of, Greg.
No, not indeed. And that was whatever that was. It was a pretty big chunk. That was not a check or a piece of paper. It was a black object. And as Jeff described, it was probably something about the size of maybe 3 feet wide. So it may have been a big piece of shingle or something like that. A very large, well, relatively large piece of debris, but probably something that was relatively light and could get suspended airborne for a considerable distance.
Greg, we're looking at Storm Chaser video right now. I believe of a tornado. It's difficult to say because it almost looks like the wall cloud itself has lowered in that case. There's not a very clear wedge right there, but certainly there is a lowering, and it's a very wide one.
Yeah, indeed, and the situation could be that sometimes these big wide tornadoes, and we've had estimates even from our own debris ball measurements that this is a mile wide, that you can get basically a whole transition from the rotating wall cloud, the rotating updraft of the storm. That just basically gets so intense that it becomes the tornado. So we may have that basically all the way onto the ground at this point. There's a little bit of an angling out there of the cloud at the left, and so I'm thinking that we're seeing some combination. I'm thinking we're probably seeing the wall cloud here, probably the tornado is embedded within it, but that wall cloud is so close to the ground that we can't distinguish the tornado from the rotating updraft of the storm that we call the wall cloud. That's the inflow that then goes into the updraft of the parent thunderstorm, and it rotates. These are supercell thunderstorms that are themselves rotating extremely fast today. Definitely a tornado here based on the radar. It is still containing large amounts of debris.
Jeff has got the tornado right now. Let's go to Jeff Morrow live. Jeff?
Guys, can you hear me?
We hear you.
We got you.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we have the tornado, that big mass that you can see there in the background. A lot of lightning flashes around it. It looks like, Greg, the mesocyclone may be right down almost on the ground. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's what we think, Jeff, that this has gotten basically so strong that the wall cloud is all the way to the ground and the tornado is embedded in it. The two have basically just merged into one big, strong, rotating storm.
So, Greg, you're talking about an incredibly wide area of potential damage then.
It looks like it's passing by just to our north. It looks like it's passing by just to the north of the city.
Yeah, that's what we were just calculating, that it looked like probably about 2 miles north of the center of downtown Birmingham, about halfway between downtown Birmingham and the Tarrant City area.
Now, Jeff, where are you relative to downtown?
I am just south of downtown on a large hill, or I guess you'd call it almost a mountain that overlooks the city. So we're actually looking north. The camera is actually looking to the northwest right now. So you're following this big black mass from left to right. So that would be from southwest to northeast across the metro Birmingham area. Again, it looks like it's just north.
We are just hearing now that there is a tornado emergency for Birmingham, Alabama. So, folks, Birmingham, on the north side of Birmingham, large wedge tornado is now making its way to the east very rapidly, probably about 50 miles an hour. It looks like it's going to pass to the north of downtown. Again, a tornado emergency now in effect for Birmingham, Alabama, Greg.
Yeah, and look how wide that is. It's filling the entire camera screen. So this is either one very, very large tornado or more likely a combination of just the whole rotating parent wall cloud, the rotating thunderstorm updraft basically on the ground with a tornado that's hidden inside of that. But either way, we're likely to get a damage path that may be more than a mile wide, perhaps several miles wide, with a combination of the rotating thunderstorm winds and the embedded tornado winds.
We've heard a lot about damage already, many reports of that. Any reason to believe that this is going to be a different situation, Greg?
No, it certainly looks like a dangerous situation. I'm not sure whether it's winds rotation-wise on the velocities that I'm getting by radar.
Transformer, yeah.
I think he's saying transformers are blowing, I believe.
There's some power flashes there, Jeff?
Guys.
Jeff, you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Now we're beginning to see the individual tornado embedded.
Yeah,
you can see a little bit of a lighter, dark shade there. So the embedded tornado is now, the wall cloud, as it's gotten closer, you can see that it's up a little bit off the ground there, and the tornado is just to the left of that second tree there that's swaying on the left side of the picture.
Yeah, hopefully we can have the cameraman pan out just a little bit so we can get a full view of this tornado. There it is right there. And there, folks, is the tornado.
Yeah.
That is the tornado. And Jeff, just an awful sight there.
Okay. Yeah, guys, the power just went off on the north side of Birmingham there. I don't know if you saw it, but everything just went black on the north side of town.
All right, we lost Jeff again. Go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
An amazing, amazing. I was going to say the power has just gone out the whole north back.
All right, we're having a hard time with Jeff's signal right now. There again is that tornado. Again, folks, I want to remind you, a tornado emergency is now in effect.
They're saying they're having
in
a hard
Birmingham,
time.
Alabama. And we want you to take cover immediately, especially on the north side of town. We are looking past downtown, and we are looking out now towards the north and towards the west, and the storm is going to pass just to the north, most likely, of downtown, Greg.
Yeah, and our radar, we get scans in every 5 minutes, and so this is when it was about 5 minutes old now. This is about west-northwest of Birmingham, but in 5 minutes it will have moved now so that it's almost due north of Birmingham. At this time, about 5 minutes ago, it was located about 5 miles west-northwest, so you allow for that to move in that subsequent time, and it has probably moved about that far. So that would put it probably, there it is, it's just updated. The tornado is located now right about 4 miles northwest of downtown Birmingham, heading directly toward the Tarrant City area. So a dangerous tornado still in progress, as you can see, and very strong Doppler velocities. A couplet still showing up on the radar, and a debris ball that I'll try to do some measurements of that to give us some idea of what we're seeing here. That ball is roughly, let's see, I made a mistake in the calculation. That ball is roughly 1.5 miles wide that we're seeing from the left edge of the red to the right side of the red. So the circulation with this, about 1.5 miles wide. That's likely what we're seeing in the picture there. A very wide a combination of tornado and rotating thunderstorm whose updraft is basically all the way to the ground.
All right, a large wedge tornado right now, a tornado emergency in effect for Birmingham. I want to get back out to Jeff live. Jeff, we see the wind picking up there right now. Are you hearing anything from that tornado?
No, we can't hear it from where we are. Basically, and the wind is really howling outside here, so it's hard to pick up any kind of a sound from the actual tornado itself. I don't know if you can see in the picture, there are a lot of power flashes, a lot of transformers going, and the whole north side of Birmingham has gone black, so they've lost power there.
And Greg, we just heard that there's now a new hook echo on the west side.
Yeah, there is
of town
indeed
as well.
another hook, that's right. But here, the tornado goes from here to there. You're seeing basically the prevailing cloud base and then the combination of tornado wall cloud comes down and the tornado edge right about there. So not very much difference between the rotating updraft of the storm and the tornado. Over on this side, here is the wall cloud. You see the base, the prevailing cloud, the wall cloud, like a layer cake comes down, and then here is the tornado. So tornado from there to about there, probably about a mile or perhaps even a mile and a half wide.
And Greg, we just got a very upsetting report. Extreme damage now being reported on the west side of Birmingham, West Birmingham. Extreme damage right now. So again, this is a tornado emergency for Birmingham, Alabama. Folks, please take cover immediately on the north side of town right now. This is a large wedge tornado, 1.5 miles in diameter. It is passing to the north at about 50 miles an hour. Again, extreme damage has been reported in Birmingham. Great.
And it's moving within minutes now, heading toward the Tarrant City area. So that is next in line with this very dangerous tornado. And at that point, then, it will continue beyond Tarrant City, if it holds together, toward the general area of Trussville. So Tarrant City, maybe the south portions of Fultondale, then toward the Trussville area. So dangerous, dangerous situation. We know we've had a long-lived tornado. We've seen that debris ball all the way from Tuscaloosa, now all the way into the Birmingham area. We know the tornado has been continuous for at least 20 miles. I think it's probably more like 30 miles, and now continuing to head into the areas north and east of Birmingham.
Greg, we are hearing now that spotters are reporting EF4 or EF5 damage. Of course, that's difficult to say immediately after the fact, but certainly that wouldn't be unusual in this case.
No, certainly from the kind of extreme types of debris being cast about and the kind of extreme velocities we've seen on this, it certainly would not be surprised if this was a violent tornado up in the EF4 range or stronger. Of course, you have to know what kind of structure it was, how strong was it. The damage assessors will go out after the fact and evaluate that. So nevertheless, it's bad. We know we have extreme damage that has taken place.
And again, if you are just joining us right now, what you're looking at right now is a large wedge tornado, violent tornado. We've heard about extreme damage in Birmingham, Alabama. This is the same tornado that passed through Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We saw a huge debris ball when that occurred. We've been watching this wedge tornado for more than half an hour. It is now passing to the north of Birmingham, Alabama. That dark cloud right there not really revealing the ferocity of what's going on inside that tornado, but certainly, Greg, this thing is as strong as it's been.
Yeah, and it has now, we've gotten yet another radar update. It is now hitting Fultondale. It has made a little bit of a left turn. It's hitting Fultondale. Still strong, a velocity couplet there. And so it continues to head. It's going to go a bit to the north of the Trussville area as it has gone now from the west and north side of Birmingham to Fultondale, heading toward just the north of Trussville. So it is probably going to go about 4 miles to the north or northwest of Trussville as it continues along this path.
Our Jeff Morrow was following the storms in the Birmingham area. The storm passed just off to its north, a vicious, very large tornado, Jeff. And I know you've been doing this for a long time, but doesn't make it any easier, does it?
No, it doesn't, because you know what's going on underneath a big black monster is the best way I can put it, sitting right down on the ground. I think you heard me tell Greg as it was happening, as we were seeing it, that it almost looked like the whole rotating thunderstorm, what we call the mesocyclone or the wall cloud, was sitting almost on the ground. The thing was so wide. It was still far enough away on the north side of the city that we couldn't really see a lot of rotation. You could see like slow rotation of the scud clouds going around it, but you couldn't actually see the tornado itself moving around. And we're getting a lot of reports of people that said that debris was falling from the sky. Of course, we reported that and showed it to you here on the Weather Channel, but we saw a lot of reports of that all around the city. So debris that was picked up by the storm, perhaps as far away as Tuscaloosa, was falling in our area. It was picking that up and then dropping it here. Some pretty big pieces as well. But again, the real story is how much damage there is. And as is often the case, guys, you know, when you first get a situation like this, the storm or the tornado goes by and things come in a little bit slowly and it takes a little while to get all the information. But what we're hearing is there's pretty bad damage here from Bessemer all the way across the north side. And again, as more information comes in, we'll be able to pass that along to you. But seeing the tornado itself and just being lit up on the bottom of it by the power flashes of the transformers blowing, the lights going out on the north side of town, just knowing what was happening underneath that big black mass, it was really an awesome sight, but really kind of a heartbreaking sight as well.
Yeah, Jeff, now about 250,000 people without power there across the state of Alabama. And as you mentioned, just incredible reports of damage apparently in West Birmingham. Extreme damage there. We got reports of buildings being flattened by this tornado, which would be consistent with EF4, possibly even EF5 damage.